So recently, something absolutely massive has happened which would have had some crazy and insane implications for the rest of the Star Wars community if it hadn't been stopped in its track. This is the story of the failed attempt to ruin the careers of multiple big Star Wars YouTubers and their employees, and how it failed. So it all started off with a single tweet. Annie Kestis, who I spent over 2 hours with analysing the claims I'll mention soon, tracked the tweet back to one sole author. We won't share this person's name just in case the information is wrong, and the last thing we want, unlike other people, is to attack or target them. So this tweet likely started from a single person and was full of 20 citations which allege that Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost and Nerdrotic had spread hate speech and targeted harassment throughout the community. They wanted YouTube to immediately and permanently disable their monetization, meaning that they would lose the overwhelming majority of their income and put multiple jobs on the line. We'll evaluate those claims in a minute, but the issue is, within a matter of minutes, multiple big accounts reposted their tweet word for word, and within half an hour, it had caught steam and massive accounts like Star Wars Explained and Kyle Katarn were posting it. Now, this could be two cases. The first possibility is gross negligence en masse, since there's no possible way that all these people could have all checked the claims and verified all of them. Like I said, it took the two of us over 2 hours, and although we were talking to a live chat and stuff like that, we can safely say that it would be at least an hour or an hour and a half to go through all of the claims mentioned and cited in the post. This is because, surprise surprise, there were absolutely no timestamps given in the citations. Out of the 20 supposed evidences, around a dozen, if not more, were untimestamped YouTube videos which we had to manually search through the transcripts and look for the quotes mentioned, only to discover that they were almost entirely removed from their proper contexts. And the ones that weren't had been psychologically primed to make the reader assume that something with evil intent was said, when in reality it was just a heated speech about politics, and you guys know politics just gets heated pretty much every single time. This means that if this possibility is the truth, these people have performed the disgusting act of sharing these false claims before checking them, or even worse, checking them and then falsely and dishonestly posting them in the wrong context, and then getting hundreds of thousands if not millions of impressions on their tweets, creating deep-seated hatred against these YouTubers and false biases against them, only for the claims to actually be completely worthless. Now, I don't watch these guys, and you may already have your opinions made up about these guys, but the claims made in the post themselves were completely false, and we proved that in the live stream that we did for 2 hours. Now, the alternate perspective is one that Annie Kestis takes, which is that although this one person may have posted it first, this was likely a group effort involving at least one of the bigger creators. He believes that because the original creator only has a couple of thousand followers, and it only took a few moments for creators with dozens of thousands or more followers to copy paste it, not just retweeting or commenting, but word for word copying it and the images, making entirely new posts with the same hashtags, and he sees this as a targeted attack which had likely been planned ahead of time, which is absolutely hilarious because what they claim in the post is that these three creators were doing targeted attacks against the actors. So they did exactly what they swore to destroy, and they did a targeted attack on these three creators. But regardless, it didn't take long for the fans of these creators to get word of these tweets, and eventually they caught the attention of Star Wars Theory, who advised the creators publicly that they should sue the hell out of them, and this is because of the potential damage that would have been caused to not only their brands but also the people who would lose their incomes if the attempt succeeded, which would be more than enough grounds for legal action. All you have to do to prove defamation in the United States is prove harm and prove malice, and once you prove that, there's some pretty big penalties that could come their way. Well, this has obviously got people on both sides riled up, but fortunately YouTube is not stupid, and they analysed each of the claims in detail like we did, and they concluded that there were no terms of service violations nor hate speech being spread. So this effectively killed the movement entirely, with these people now attacking YouTube staff who refused to give in to their pressure and wrongly ban people who did nothing wrong. So this is an absolutely wild situation. It looks like it will have a good ending with YouTube not taking any action, but the sad thing, however, is that some people who shared this have very sizable followings themselves, both on Twitter and elsewhere, such as Star Wars Explained and Kyle Katarn. So this is effectively a planned war against YouTubers, and since there's no proof of any of the claims made in the post, it certainly seems like this was simply an attempt to take out the people who they are politically opposed to first, but ultimately who are their direct competition in the YouTube space. The thing that really made me mad was that it had to be so obvious to the guys posting this that this would spread to not only these people that apparently are delivering hate, but it would obviously spread to all other Star Wars YouTubers, and in the end I could see probably a full demonetization of all of Star Wars YouTube just because of these actions. So absolutely insane all around, but that's the full story so far. What do you think of this situation? What do you think of the fandom wars kicking off and basically going into yet another higher gear? Do you believe these guys should be banned? Be sure to spend some time actually going through the horrifically cited sources, and you can come to your own conclusion. Drop a like on the video if you found it informative, subscribe for weekly awesome Star Wars content, and drop a thank Mr. Lucas if you made it this far.